to My Sweet Perspective. My name is Ashley and Tyra over at Struggle Reviews, and we are back tonight to talk a toxic love story, the Netflix documentary that aired last week. And we've got stuff to talk about, so come on in the room. I hope everyone watched it. Everyone had ample time to watch it. So come on in the room, talk to us. We talk back, and we are going to get into the conversation. But first, Tyra, how are you this fine Wednesday, hump day? How are you? And are you ready to get into the conversation of it all?
Unhumped, but I'm fabulous. I'm fabulous. I'm ready to get into this toxicity because are the kids okay? I don't think anybody was okay here, and we need to talk about it. No, nobody was okay.
Yeah, nobody was crazy. Nobody was normal. Nobody was. Hey, Tremaine, what's going on, sis? Hope you're having an amazing, amazing Wednesday. What's going on, Swag Fan 100? Hope you're having a great day as well. We got Brees in the house. Hey, Brees, girl, how are you? I ain't seen you. I ain't seen you, but it's good to see you, girl. Danny, good to see you, sis. Hope you're having a great day. What's going on, Courtney? What's going on, Tierra Green? Hope you're having a great day. Andrew says, this doc was insane. Bree said, heavy on unhumped. I think we're all unhumped, and that's okay. That's okay. But come on in, let us know. But we're not going to belabor the point at all. We are going to dive right into it. Hey, sis, Candy Love in the building. Hope you're having a great day. Breeze, I just said I ain't seen you. Talk about what you mean. What you mean? I've been here. Okay, girl. I ain't. But, it's fine. It's cool. But let's get into this live discussion. Tara, I'm going to start with you. I want to know overall thoughts as it compares to other Netflix documentaries, other documentaries that we've watched so far this year. How did this stack up? And was there anything about it that made you say, yes, we need to talk about this?
Girl, stack up, because old girl over there in her maternal instincts had me like, girl, you went and did what at the lady house? It was a whole lot. This was different. I normally will stay away from, if it's a case like older than maybe 5 years, I'm like, here y'all go. Here y'all go digging up old bones. What's so different about this story that you need to share it now on Netflix? I was sad because I like that via how we are introduced to Mama Michelle, it's something uneasy about it. They did a really good job of making you side-eye everyone. I think anyone who has common sense right off the bat, you are side-eyeing every single person here. But for quite some time, you really didn't know, like, okay, so you're the one. Okay, so it's her? No, it's actually him. Oh, well, dang. Tell me something. It was very entertaining. It was short and sweet. I don't think that they belabored it, did anything. Netflix will drag out a situation and try to do you 2, 3, and 4 parts when it really only warranted one. I thought it was good. It was well constructed, and more than anything, it made me want to go and investigate and learn a little bit more about these people, because you said what and did what and how did you find this lady? I needed some more, but it was good. It was cute.
For sure. Candy, as soon as I saw Tara, I said, hey, Erica. I said, what's up? What's up, Baduism?
Hey, Candy.
So adorable. But my overall thoughts, I thought this was conversation worthy. If you watched it with us in the Discord, though, I knew it was that man. When he was giggling in that car, talking on the phone to his bestie, aka friend zone lover, I knew he wasn't right. I said, because why he giggling like that? That Starbucks didn't make you that happy, sir. So immediately I knew something was wrong with him. Did I think it was going to be nefarious as it was? Because he's damn diabolical. First of all, he is a lunatic magnet. He knows how to pick them. He went into it. He had to have researched these people, because he kept reminding us every single moment. Yeah, I'm a U.S. Marshal. Yeah, I'm a U.S. Marshal. I'm in law enforcement. Yeah, I stack up. But he was so damn diabolical. I'd say on the sweet pea scale, out of 5 sweet peas, I'd rate this documentary a cute 3.7, 3.8. I thought it was strong. It ran about a cute 91 minutes, and we love that. Let's get it out of the way. You know what I mean? In and out, like Tyra said. Netflix will give you a 4-part docuseries when it's never needed. But just a little bit, this documentary premiered July 22nd, again, runs about 91 minutes, and it was directed by Alexandra Lacey. And they marketed this to where I had added it to my watch list because it was like, who's guilty? Who's the one? Toxic love story. And honestly, after watching it, I said, where is the love? The only love we saw was between that friend towards Ian.
Oh,
that was it. There was.
She let him in real bad. Oh, she let him in. When I saw her, I said, oh, girl, you love that man. I don't know who you're trying to fool on his dock, but that's her man. That was the love right there.
She said, yeah, no. Everyone always says I'm in love. I'm not in love with him. Girl, shut up. Shut up. But we can get into kind of the narrative that's initially posed to us because, like you did, it was definitely a bait and switch because it would have you thinking that, okay, this is just the typical, lunatic bad breakup where the ex is a woman scorned and she wants to get it back in blood. But we meet Ian and Angela very early on. They met. A couple weeks later, they were engaged. A couple months later, they're married, right? Already, and they're moving into his condo that he purchased with his ex Michelle. Her name on the deed, Tyra. Her name was on that down payment. She paid it all by herself, and so they're spinning it initially as if he's this upstanding U.S. Marshal. He's met the love of his life. And, they want to build this life and they're being harassed. They're being harangued, Tyra. They're getting emails from Lilith is Truth talking about God's law versus man's law and, what we're going to do. And we really have no idea. And what I will say is because one of Michelle's friends reached out to me on Instagram and basically said, I've known Michelle since I was a little girl. We grew up together, all of these things, and I can't bring myself to watch the doc, but I hope they painted her in a good light. And I said, hell no, they didn't. At the end of this, everybody is crazy as a Betsy bug, and it goes there. But Tyra, what did you think of the way they presented this and how quickly everyone was willing to blame it on Michelle as the crazy ex? Like, she's delusional. She's a woman scorned. He did this. It has to be her.
First of all, I knew everybody was a liar. Let's start there. I knew everyone was a liar. Something was very off-putting about him. The fixation on this condo was crazy. I said, so don't you got U.S. Marshal money? It wasn't nowhere else for you to go? Like, first you out here being a swindler, whatever. The condo fixation, because I'm like, if somebody's stalking me and it's just like, oh, this condo, ever since, I told her she had to go and she's feeling, some type of entitlement because her name is on the deed, baby, move. Take you and your wife or your whatever and move. When that didn't happen, that was one thing. It seemed like he had a portion of people food. Not I, but there was a portion. And just to think of your regular average man who is, your word versus her word and who's stalking who. And you have this, we all know it's made up at this point, but he had proof. A lot of the times we only just have the narrative of this is what's happening. And you also congeal that with your wife standing by your side saying, yeah, this is being inflicted on me. They were going to take his word. If they're going to take your everyday average male's word, this is a white male. This is a white male who's married to a white teen woman, and he just happens to be a U.S. Marshal. I said, wrap it up. Wrap it up. Michelle never stood a chance. And then when we meet my Michelle, I say, oh, that's how I knew he wasn't okay and that he was being predatory, because this is someone who has studied these women and he knew how to draw her in. She's very whimsical and almost childlike in her intellect. It's like it was, all the Disney of it all, or just the entrapment, if you will. I was like, something is off about these people. But I will never be surprised when we automatically take a man's word over a woman's, because that's just what it is, especially when there's you'll have women, he could have bashed whole Michelle's face in, and then it's still, my word against his. And that goes along with, sexual assault, physical assault. It's just always an inkling to want to believe the man narrative first. And she's just set up as the crazy scorned ex. It was all in the pocket for this to come out on his side and he'd be the victor. But him and this Lilith thing, it was too ambitious. You had a little too much dip on your chip. I think this is someone who was smelling themselves in their sauce to cultivate and construct something this intricate and really ruin this woman's life just because she got away or she disobeyed me was wild. The main thing that pissed me off is we keep seeing narratives like this with people who are placed in power, and it could be like, oh, it's just a U.S. Marshal. Yeah, but you're the one. You're the executioner, judge, jury for a lot of people, and the predicaments and how my life ended up because I may have crossed you in the path when I was on the wrong side of the law. You're the one out here placing judgment, and you're crazy. I said, what test? What test does it take to be a U.S. Marshal? Because you can see he's crazy from across the damn street.
You absolutely can. He was an absolute lunatic. Now, what I really want to know, because absolutely, people believe men over women every single day. Well, what did she do? What was she wearing? And she harmed another white woman. Oh, and you're law enforcement. The one thing I wanted to hear throughout this documentary is that all his cases were looked into, that they reopened any case that he worked to verify, because this was so elaborate. And the idea that you were pinging different IP addresses and going here and there. And honestly, you did it with such disregard and such pretension, really, to not even think that somebody was going to catch on to you. Like, you did this, in front of the police. I think at one point the police are in the house and he's on the thing doing the Craigslist ads. Like, what are you, you just don't give a single damn in. But what do you think about when documentaries manipulate the audience for salaciousness? Because honestly, it was very misleading. And, as a documentary purist, at times, you just want a straightforward story, right? Like, sometimes you just want a straightforward story. What do you think of documentarians that use that hook to try to get people, you know what I mean? Just let me mix them up real quick.
Get your bag. Actually, wasn't you purist? I am not a purist. We watch a whole lot of docs, and you have to do something to separate yourself from the pack. If this was just a straight shooter, of course, and then I'm sure that there are other docs about this situation that way, may not be a Netflix or we're not well aware of it, but I'm sure that there are others. I'm trying to pop. I'm trying to be seen. I'm trying to be number one on the documentary. I'm trying to be number one on that most watched Netflix that week. And this is something to do with, if we had just, did this right out, I don't know, because it felt like there was enough twists and turns here to really make this a two-parter and in a whole situation to flip it. But if they were on a limited time situation, they said we got a cute 90 minutes and we got to shake it up to shake the room so we can place. They shake the room. I was here for them shaking the room. If it was just straightforward, it probably would have still been entertaining. But that little piece of butter on the pancake made it more moist. It did.
I think my only issue, and where I think it becomes like an ethical concern, is that honestly, by the end of it, although Michelle is the victim in this, you don't necessarily really view her fully as a victim. At least for me, I think I was kind of jaded on her, because they really paint her as someone who needed a 5150 hold. Like, she did not need to be out. You know what I mean? And I don't think they did a good enough job, for me personally, to really humanize her and let us know. I sat and watched, because there's only one other published piece about this story that I was able to find, and it's Dateline season 26. I think it's episode 25 or 26, and it's entitled Diabolical. And that, it was. But you learned so much more about Michelle. Michelle was getting her MBA. Michelle was always a sheltered girl who was so sweet and innocent, and, had kind of found herself in this really toxic and abusive relationship where Ian was doing all kinds of crazy things to her, talking extremely crazy, until she was so kind of beaten down. Because really what I guess I struggled with was when we get to a portion about, because he took me to the desert. And then there's also a point where she admits, I sent those, I think. Did you send the others? Yeah, I don't know. And I think it would have been, really kind to let the audience know what else probably went into why she was acting that way, or why she was willing just to kind of take it. According to the Dateline documentary, she was wanting to fight from the beginning. The parents said, we can get you out, we can post this bail, or we can hire you a good attorney. And she was like, I want to fight. And how she survived in prison, because they said she walked around like a Disney princess and that they were going to take her out if she didn't, get her swagger up. There was so much left out, I feel like, that really kind of humanized and lent itself to compassion for her.
I could see that. I just took it as not all victims are going to look one way. And there may be a different mental state for Michelle than your average woman. You know, she's different. You know, if I'm a bird, you're a bird. She's interesting. I don't think they did make it extremely clear where her mental state lies now, and that's why I think that they introduced the aspect of, you know, I'm a mom, I'm a mommy, mamacita, and it's like, well, of course she's okay. She's a mother now. You know, she's married. She's you know, more evolved now. She's cool, and it's like we don't really get to walk that line with her because it kind of feels like, is she okay?
It's like, why did they let her have a child? I mean, like, what? Why?
I just think she's it's a question of like, well, is she being medicated? Like, is there like,
drugged?
You know, is there you know, certain therapeutic avenues that she's taking? Has she seek counsel, or something felt off to where it wasn't just him, but it's like, oh, with these things going on with her mentally, I can you know, easily take advantage of her. But they never once mentioned if there were any other things that would contribute to her sanity or lack thereof. The parents didn't say anything. Michelle didn't say anything either. So I'm just going to take it on the chin that she is a normal, well-adjusted woman. I don't know.
Yeah. Or, I mean, it's the edit. And in the Dateline interview, you know, she talks about that she is really not much of a presence, you know, and that it's easy to than to be in a relationship that's going to take her down because she's going. Basically, she's going. That's what she gave over there, and I just think they could have warmed us up a little bit with her here. If that's probably one of my only real notes.
The main thing that we spend a lot of focus with this woman.
Oh yeah, Angela, honey, Angela with them roots, and we're gonna get into it. But what I thought was interesting was just the speed at which this relationship culminated. It was like, yeah, we met a week ago, we're engaged, we're married, and now I'm pregnant with twins. And I was like, hell no, because now not only am I this bleach blonde white woman, but now I'm pregnant with your babies with twins, and now I'm a victim of all of these things. Oh my gosh, Ian, we're gonna be so happy together. And he's loving it and living in it and all of the things. But now we're getting harassed. You know, I'm getting these emails. They say they're going to take my baby, rip my baby out of my stomach. All this crazy stuff is going to happen. And what am I supposed to do? I'm just supposed to live in the condo 24/7. Like, the body cam footage of the interviews with police was unhinged. And immediately I said, okay, this hoe's crazy too. Everybody was Looney Tunes. Tyra, talk to me about what you think about just how quickly this moved on. Again, in the Dateline, it kind of gives that they were co-conspirators from the very beginning, not like something that popped up later. Like, yeah, we want this condo because she's still not signing it over to me. So yeah, this is what we're gonna do. And like, she was in on it. And so it makes me think, was this marriage for that purpose? Like,
these people met on scarysingleweirdpeoplemeet.com. Like, they met each other. They knew exactly who they were the moment that they met. Maybe he saw her as, because, you know, he's clearly targeting women of a certain mental state. And it was like, oh, you crazy. It's my kind of crazy. I like that. I can work with you. This is my wife, and it's just full speed ahead. Them jumping from A to Z in this relationship was not at all shocking to me. When you like, it's like, when you know, you know. When you know, you know. It's going to be a certain kind of woman who wants to go along with this rhetoric that you're spewing out about this woman. Or are you going to construct this plan? Oh, fine, I'm down, I'm with it. The immediate body cam footage, I was ready to go. I said, that's all it is, because you're lying. You're lying. Body cam footage always pisses me off because it always favors one and not the other. Child, the way she said they just pinned me against the wall in my garage and I'm here to assault you and around my neck. I said, pause. There's nothing on your neck. There's nothing. Are we seeing the same woman? There's nothing. There's nothing. A hair out of place. Nothing has been on her. This is a hysterical white woman in a garage, and you guys are swooning, trying to figure out what you can do, who you need to shoot, and who you need to stop. So are you insane? There was no real investigative work. It was just like, oh, well, we got to do something about this. Like, do something about what? There's nothing on her. But fine. Her acquiescing immediately and him finding, you know, his niche to, you know, commit the crimes that he wants to. I mean, this is a match made in heaven. Even with what you saw, I don't know if it was in the Dateline doc or in this one. I didn't hear too much pushback on her part, because normally when we about to go to jail, then people start singing like a canary, because you need to take him down so I can get less time. She wasn't singing like a canary. She didn't say, I was a victim. This was the perfect time to conjure up that victim act that you was doing over there with that family, acting like you were sick. This is when you come out with your white woman tears. Girl, you're supposed to come out with your white womanhood. Girl, this is the time. Like, I was abused. I was brainwashed, and I just didn't know. Girl, she didn't do none of that. She took it on the chin like, that's my man. I'm sick beside him, and we're going to do this time. I said, oh, yeah, they love each other for real.
Yeah, she knew the jig was up. And it makes me think that later on, and we'll get to it, when they do the whole, I found out she wasn't pregnant, and I annulled the marriage and all of that. It was like, okay, was that for fake? Because crazy people don't stop just like that. So Angela, he sold her a dream. She was believing something to just take that bid and go on about her business. And again, Michelle is painted as this jealous ex, but the plot thickens, Tyra, because not only, we get their background. They met at Disneyland or around Disneyland in Anaheim, and she always wanted to be a Disney princess. And he always wanted to be Prince Charming. He loved Disney as much as she did. And that was their connection. They would go together. They would have their Starbies. They would go to the Magic Kingdom and really just, imagine what their life was going to be. Picket fences and just, the beautiful white woman dream, Tyra. And Michelle was just so invested in this because Ian was fabulous. He was in law enforcement, so I felt safe and secure in his arms. And he was so adamant about us getting this condo. Like we had to get it. There was such urgency, but he didn't have the down payment. And so, me, I had saved up, $10,000, and I'm like, what down payment in California for a condo is $10,000? But it was back in 2016. Okay. Back in 2016. And she's like, you know what? I'll put it down and we'll be in this. As soon as they get in the condo, he starts acting a fool. And very quickly, she's like, yeah, I need to go back and move with my parents. I'm going to move in their barn, their garage, whatever. I'm going to go over there and go to court, because she wasn't just giving it over to him. She did go to court a couple times, actually, to figure out how they were going to do with it. He could stay there and buy her out, right? Buy her portion of the equity of the condo out, or he would have to sell it and they would split the proceeds down the middle. Mind you, he didn't do any of that. He wasn't ever going to do any of that because this happened in 2016. Ian and Michelle previous relationship, it ended in 2015, 2016. He meets and marries Angela in 2016. And that's when he starts with the whole allegations. What I want to know, though, from you and from the chat is, was it easy for you immediately to put all of the blame on Michelle, especially when we're seeing the interrogations where she was like, well, maybe I did. Yeah, I sent some weird emails. I know you're going to ask me about that. They were crazy. And then all of a sudden, it's all of these emails. And not only is it emails, but now it's Craigslist ads with grape fantasies. I want you to come and break in this house and grape me. And I'll, that's the deal. And men actually responding to the ads. And this is where I fear I had an ethical dilemma with this doc as well, because you have these predators come on and you give them anonymity to tell their story about how they answered the Craigslist ad to go and grape someone. Like, I don't know. Where did you stand on that? And why do you think it was so easy for people to just put it all on Michelle?
I didn't put it all on Michelle. The moment we met Michelle, I said, she's not okay. She's not okay. Because, baby, if he's your Disney princess, he should be able to help you with that condo or afford it him damn self. I said, you're a mark. I'm so sorry. Michelle was a cautionary tale to me. I was like, talk to your children, love your children. Not to say that she wasn't loved or protected, but she's sheltered to the point of we can't recognize when someone is scheming and scamming. And it's like, oh, we just went to Disneyland all the time. It was our favorite place. And I just felt so protected. And I ain't never been nowhere and had nothing. It's not like my first real. I was like, oh God. I felt really sorry for Michelle. Even I was, side-eyeing more so law enforcement, because let's just say she did do these things. If there is a case or a judgment, in my opinion, against her mental capacity, even if she did do these things, if you're mentally not okay, I'm gonna, recommend seeking help or a counsel or maybe a mental stint, if you want, a hold to just really
Evaluate.
evaluate and give her some type of diagnosis. No, it's like, oh, yeah, she did it. Lock her up. We gotta protect these. We gotta protect the whites on the outside. Lock her. I was like, it's just like, yeah, I sent that, and I thought it was also really strategic that like the one like actual email, because it wasn't many that she sent, that just happened to be the one that they read, and of course I'm sure that was something handy over there with the man's part. I was like, how much did you show? It was like, yeah, did you say this? Like, yeah, well, what? Maybe, yeah, like she wasn't okay. I was like, how can you guys not tell that she's okay?
Yeah.
How can we just take her and all right, they said lock her up
immediately.
I said, well, dang. And it's just really, really sad. If you can recognize it via, I'm sure, the little bit of material that we're getting here, why can't you people who are, licensed to carry and whatnot, not use your common sense to go, well, let's get a second opinion? Because even if you did write this, something's disconnecting here in this sit down. I think she was given the same energy when she said, she was just so out of it, and she ended up in the desert. And I think some Native Americans picked her up. Like, yeah, I was like, are you high? It's like, very FEMA dream, is very space cadet. So the fact that we didn't do that, he was already being side-eyed. For me, it was like, but sir, it's a condo.
Yeah.
It's a condo. A lot of this, of course, was control. When we met him, I said he wants to control her. This is all this is about. He found somebody that he can manipulate and control, and I'm going to do a little bit at a time, and I'm going to, wear this or say this or do this video. Once we, got more so, I don't know if you have a slide for it, that when she started to acquiesce to what he said and all of that good stuff. And when it got to that point, I was like, oh, he just wants to control her. So not only did you leave, but now you're trying to come over here and have your little claim on this condo. Absolutely not. I'm sure his, whatever you want to call it, because he's mentally unstable as well. This plan that he constructed went all the way off into flights of fancy to where it really got out of pocket, and now you're behind bars. The whole thing with the going from the Craigslist, because from what we can see, it was like, well, the police aren't, jumping to my whimsy as quickly as I want them to prosecute Michelle, to put her ass behind bars. Let's keep, putting sauce on the narrative to keep punching it up and get to the Craigslist. And it's like, for her to participate in this, even with her husband, to say, so yeah, he came in the garage, he choked you out. And then just to even get into, you're a U.S. Marshal. And prior to this entire situation, he was having, great fantasies in Michelle. And, if I would really be turned on if you, had sex with another person, or I watched, or multiple people. It's just like, I don't want to do that. And she's, feeling controlled and obligated to do these things. But immediately with this new wife, your mind jumps here. I said, this is a sick predator. And y'all got this thing running rancid on the street with a damn badge. Crazy. But the fact that she participated and we're steady going and going and going, out of all of the officers that set their feet on the property to go visit this disturbance, nobody was putting two and two together prior to, if Michelle didn't fight for this, she would have still been locked up.
Oh yeah.
She would have still been locked up. It wouldn't have changed anything. That's why I was like, if she had really just was swallowed up whole, because prison is, I don't care if she was skipping around there, like prison is prison, Disney princess or not. And her parents were kind of dumbfounded, like, well, we don't believe our baby, like she's not like that. But at the end of the day, what exactly can we do? If she didn't fight and try to push forward to get a second opinion or have somebody investigate, because let me show you how crazy he is. The most I felt from Michelle when she was like, nobody wanted to listen to me. Yeah. Nobody wanted to hear me. Nope. Everybody was writing me off. But the fact that we came in here, and it's not like he was just so skilled and technical in what he was doing. Nobody just cared to investigate because it's her word against mine. And if he's backing it and he's the U.S. Marshal and this is his wife, who are we to say otherwise? And we need to protect them, even though this all seems completely outlandish. Like, that was wild.
For sure. And what was crazy to me was kind of like the media frenzy around it, in the court of public opinion immediately convicted her. Oh yeah, she did it. And she did it to a pregnant woman. Mind you, entire time, Angela just looks like she got scratched by a cat. Also, what you find out in the Dateline documentary is that the alleged spot or point of attack is not connected to the condo. It's in a completely separate parking structure, right? So, how the hell was this targeted from her when they didn't even come into your home to do this to you? Like, Angela, they came and they choked. What am I supposed to do? I don't feel safe. I don't feel secure. I don't feel whatever. But of course, we'll get into who Angela was ultimately. But yeah, that's crazy as hell. It definitely a thin line between love and hate. Like, she put oranges in a sock, Tyra, and went to wail on herself. But there were not even bruises. Like, girl, you didn't even do a good
We're
job.
gonna make it believable. Choke her ass out before the cops get here. They knew that their word and who they were as people against Michelle would be valid enough to we don't even have to fake it.
Mm-mm. Rico, thank you for becoming a member of The Struggle is Real. We appreciate it.
Welcome, Rico.
Danny sent some jewels. Thank you for the flower jewels, Danny. We appreciate you. Jay Buggin coming through with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Jay Buggin. When all those people confronted her about her fake show report, we're going to get to it, I busted out laughing. The other girl had to grow up in a religion cult or something. It's very interesting. Like, her family is very reserved, but you can tell that she always kind of lived in her own little Narnia. Like, I don't know if she just didn't have, you know how some people are just kind of sheltered and just don't believe people are capable of whatever. And I do want to say, although I feel like the documentary didn't do a good job of really showing her as the full victim that she was in fact a true victim. I believe that man was drugging her, microdosing her, doing something, because she was so out of it. And in the
say somebody microdosing somebody.
Listen, because in the Dateline documentary, she's so much more coherent. Like,
really?
She's so much more, put together, and like, yeah, I'm like, y'all did this for the gram or something. I don't know. But let's get over here, because through it all, Ian has had a staunch defender throughout this entire thing. I think she's the first person we meet in the documentary. Okay. Yeah. And she's very much like, I've been friends with Ian for 100 years, and he is just the best, sweetest, kindest, loving man. And no, before you ask, no, I'm not in love with him. He's just my very best friend in the world. And I would do anything for him to this day, because I know that he went to jail for this crime, but he didn't do it. Free him. And I said, ho, are you cool? And are you crazy? He's out here victimizing women. And you're like, he's just, you see this video of me and him in his Starbucks and he's giggling? That's who Ian was. Ian was not this man that y'all are painting this picture of. And like I said, before you ask, no, I'm not in love with him. I'm sick of being accused of being in love with him. I'm not. I just know Ian at his core level. And although he didn't want my chunky cooter, like, I'm going to stick beside him forever. I guarantee she put money on his books. I guarantee this heifer wrote him letters every day that he was in the Pinta. Tyra, talk to me about friend zoned, because she was out of control.
Now somebody just said, I'm willing to bet she's keeping money on his books.
Definitely. Spending care packages.
I yelled when she popped out. I said, how are you sending bankroll to Thug? Girl, get out of here. Get out of here. I already knew who this heifer was when we met her. When we're going through the motions, and I felt so sorry for Michelle, even though that was her way out. She was like, I had to go when she was there in the apartment, because I knew he would act the way that he normally acts, or try to control me or keep me from going if she was there. Like, and she used you as a scapegoat. Girl, when this heifer sat there, she was just, I was like, oh my God, Michelle she's doing all these things, and the Craigslist and the Lily, it was just too much. I said, you need to get a restraining order. And just out of the strength that I'm his best friend, I served her with a restraining order to tell her, like, this needs to stop. And girl, you need to stay, 11 feet away from this condo. I said, nobody, with all the things that were on the docket as far as what Michelle was saying and doing, I'm not serving nobody with no damn. I'm not the officer. No, I'm not doing any of that. You were all ready to step in front of the bullet and fight this man battles.
That was crazy.
To be happy, and if Angela makes him happy, the baby, and it's just she shouldn't be standing in the way of that because I just want the best for him, but I just don't even care about us. Girl, I said, he not gonna smell it. He not gonna ever. I said, this is the prime example of who this man is. That you could even get to the ass end of the block of knowing and seeing exactly who he is. I don't care who your best good friend was for years in your eyes. And she still stood there and said, I just don't believe it. One day the truth shall come out about who he is and the kind of friend. He's wonderful, he's caring, he's concerned, he's funny. Oh, he's just the best. And the way that, she said things were said, things happen. And whenever the truth comes out and you guys could see that not only it was Michelle, but Angela had a hand in, painting things in a certain narrative, but he would never do that. But me, he's family. I don't love him. I don't want him. I don't crave him. I don't want girl. I said, girl, all of this. I hope he licked on it. I hope he licked it. That's all I said. I hope he licked it. I hope he snuck it. I hope he did something for you to really be sitting here defending this abuser. Even after everything, after all these years, you still sending Bankroll to Thug. You still looking out for him. She's on a visitation list first. Every Sunday. She's there.
She got that JPay going. She probably got one of them iPads that they get. Yeah. She paying for all them calls. I learned something from Love After Lockup. I know she's one of them. Abso-freaking-lutely.
It's not just him. I'm sure it's mothers. It's always a portion of women who are going to stand by and defend somebody like this man and say, well, he didn't actually do it. Like, think about, did you see the doc? Did you see when she said, and how did X, and like, she's somewhere with her red string trying to figure out how she can get him out.
Yeah. That's what you never do. And I give this advice to anyone. You don't know what people are capable of unless you were literally there in the room and can you like to think you know people and what they won't do and what they're not capable of. But at the end of the day, if a preponderance of the evidence is there, listen, believe women most of the time, right? But don't believe Angela, because now we get over here because the documentary switches, flips, and turns at this point. And it's like, oh yeah, something ain't right about Angela. Something, ain't right. Mind you, our girl Michelle has been sentenced to the Pinta. She gonna be in there for a while for kidnapping, stalking, for harassment, for cyber stalking, for coercion, for all manner of crimes, right? She locked up. The people are happy. Lock her ass up because she's a jealous ex. She tortured that man and that pregnant woman. Well, we find out not only is Angela not pregnant with twins, and that the police are starting to look into her because something's not right. She doesn't give that she was victimized or assaulted really in this way. We make 1-2 phone calls and we find out all about Angela. It was right there. It was right there all along, Tyra. This hoe has faked cancer, the big C. She done made friends in this community at this little bar. She had a man, honey. She was living with him. He moved her in very quickly. She decided to tell these people that she had cancer, honey. She didn't even cut her hair. The heifer couldn't even commit enough to the cancer to cut her hair. They said she had a beanie on that she would tuck the hair in. And that's how this lady who befriended her said, we had started a Facebook, F cancer campaign for her. We're fundraising. We're doing all of these things, but things got weird. I'm looking at her one day scratching that beanie and I'm like, oh, her hair must be, going through things are coming out. She said that bee had more hair than me. So we decided to stage an intervention where they get the boyfriend, all these friends that she's duped. And they have it on video, which I loved. It was that grainy 2012, 2015, 20 whatever video, but it was great because we get in there. And she's like, no, I don't know what, but I do. Let's see your port. Show us your port. And they started doing it like in unison. Show us your port.
Show your port. Show your port.
And she's standing there like, damn it, I've been caught. That lady said this bee had more hair than me, talking about she was a cancer patient. All cancer patients getting chemo have a port. This whore did not have a port. She's a liar to this day. I hate her stinking guts, and she can burn in hell. That's how that lady gave in this interview. And I wasn't mad at the interview. She was like, F that bee. Tyra, talk to me about show your port. I shouldn't have cackled, but I cackled.
Anything for a mid-white woman. Y'all make me sick behind these mid-white women. I swear to God. Y'all will jump mountains for it. The way this hoe pulled up with nothing, all of a sudden, you knew this hoe for 2 weeks, and now she don't have nowhere to stay. She don't have nowhere to go. She falling on hard times because she paying all these bills, and I'm sick. Well, I just, I had just said, baby, you can live with me. I said, what's going on? We know her for 5 minutes.
Yeah, she come over. It's fine.
There was just something about her. And I'm looking. I was like, she's not even attractive. That's what he's sending me. If she was a baddie, I might let you slide. She looked a hot mess half the time. Fine.
Looking like Dexter's sister. She looks exactly like Dexter's sister. If you haven't watched Dexter, go watch it. She looks like Dexter's sister.
Mid-white woman be down. We move her in. Fine. Because we just, a sucker is licked every day. Michelle knew, baby, not Michelle, I'm on Michelle. Angela knew the tool. She knew this is why her and that man got along so well. She said, I know, I see what I'm dealing with. Show your port. I'm going to tell her what he needs to know. I want to be saved. We move her in. We're moved in for all of 5 minutes and we got the big C. It's like, I've been diagnosed and we don't do any homework. The number of people who are swindled out of bank because somebody lied and said they had an illness needs to be studied. Because it's a whole lot. But at what point do you start coming up out of your pocket? I'm coming up out of my pocket. I'm giving this whole room and board. I'm paying. I'm dropping off. Like, no, let me come in. I want to see. I need this. I'm trying to see something. Like, what is going on? We're dropping her off. Then eventually it's like, you know what, son? And it's always the mamas, like, and they chant like, oh my God, we gotta take her in our warm bosom. We gotta start a campaign. Does anybody know how to work the GoFundMe? She has the cancer. We gotta do something. Fine, because I get it. Legitimately, nobody thinks who's going to go this far to be this desperate for room and board, shelter, money, whatever, to lie about something as serious as having cancer. We're going to believe her. But at some point, baby, the documents and the photos, and he was like, yeah, then she sent me this. I said, this old, decrepit, worn out, this Google image, it's like, this is what she was like, yeah, like, oh, here all my, she's like, well, then she had a drawer, full of valves and, different, plugs and noses and wires and, things to, administer. But, she had like she had an IV drip connected to air. Like, hello, child. And she was like, that had more hair than me. Like, it was her. Like, girl, if you're going to do this, girl, commit. You couldn't even commit. She's like, well, yeah, I'm not going to have cancer all day. I might want to dip. How am I going to get another man under my Charlotte's Web if I don't have any hair? I got to keep my hair. But it's like, you know what? Something's fishy going on in them their heels. We're going to set this hoe up in an intervention. The way she sat there, and it was like, well, no, I do have liar. She said, you lit liquor. You don't have any cancer, you whore. You don't have any cancer. Show us your report. Run the files. Run the documents. Show us like all these people together. We got them all together, Angela, because you're a liar. What do you have to say for yourself? She said, I'm getting the hell out of here. When I said, do y'all have pitchforks? Do y'all have pitchforks?
Ready.
The way that we ran her off, but it's like you have to vet people. Just being so quick to just fall in love and and I'm gonna move somebody in. I'm gonna believe their every word. I'm gonna take care of her because my baby got the cancer. I said, no, baby, we need to study because if anybody with some common sense is watching this whore, you would have known that she was lying. Just to think about all the time, the effort, and the money that you sacrifice bringing this hoe into your warm home and into your Caucasian home for her to be a whole bold-faced liar. And now she just walks off, literally have wasted your time because she never gave a damn. But you people are so quick to want to come through and cape for a mid-white tea woman. Ugh.
I mean, Scamanda did it. So many people have done that. That's what this documentary reminded me of. First of all, maternal instinct. I said, where's the belly? Is she about to order her Amazon belly and all the things? Are we really going that route? And then Scamanda, because Scamanda raised all that money and really stole from them people talking about she had cancer. People don't have enough fear for me. Like, why would you even invite that into your life or on yourself? That's crazy. What
happened with them tests? Because we're pregnant and then we're not, and it's the fake test. And
girl, she had them in a plastic bag, the Ziploc bag. He said he found them. I don't even know if he really found them because at this point, he says he calls his bestie. Listen, she lied to me, and I don't know what to do. I don't. Yet, after she lied, he's continually calling her. I don't even know why I'm calling you, Angela. You're such a liar, but I just need to talk to you. I just want to talk. So he's found out that she lied about the twins allegedly. I think he knows that this was all a scam, a scheme set up by Todd. I don't trust anything Ian said. But then the phone calls afterwards further made me trust my gut and instinct that they never stopped messing with each other. I don't think you did that annulment so you wouldn't have any links or ties to her. She was going to take that bid for you, take the fall, and then you were going to go on. Because at this point, 88 days after Michelle has been in the Pinta just trying to survive. She said they gave her some sort of breakfast mush and it was terrible. She lost so much weight while she was in there. They gave her some nasty bologna for lunch. She didn't know how she was going to make it. 88 days later, she gets released and then they bring charges against Angela, I think around 2017, 2018, maybe even 2019. And finally, she takes a plea deal, and she says that she's going to do 5 years. And Angela is ultimately convicted or pled guilty to 10 felony and 22 misdemeanor charges, including kidnapping, false imprisonment, forgery, perjury, and falsely reporting crimes. And again, she received a 5-year sentence as a result of her pleading guilty. Okay. And again, Michelle gets set free 88 days later, but eventually we find out Ian was behind this. Ian didn't even get sentenced until 2023. So he was out years after Angela got locked up, just out here being free balling. Mind you, Michelle says to this day, she's never gotten any money from that condo. She gone. But he did it all, Tyra. He did it all. Angela's in jail for 5 years. Michelle did get set free. And ultimately in 2023, a federal jury convicted him of conspiracy to commit cyberstalking, perjury, obstruction of justice. He was sentenced to 121 months or 10 years in the Pinta.
There ain't no time. I need you to be sentenced. I need some back sentences for when you was all outside having a good time up until you were sentenced. This was wild. All of them need fair time. All of them need fair time. Y'all want to give bankroll to Thug and them 20 and 25 years in life. And no, all of the things that were constructed around every single time them officers came out under false pretenses, it needed to be 10 years, 5 years minimum. Because that was always that could have went left. So left. That could have resulted in the death of innocent people. That could have, the way we sat there and coerced that man, that man who came there for, it's like, yeah, I have a great fantasy. I don't want to show my identity because I don't want to be judged. But no, show it. Mm-hmm. You're big enough to have it. Show your face, sir. It's like, yeah, I got my kids to think about because I'm a parent. I'm a father, so I wouldn't want anybody to judge me. But yeah, she hit me up, and I was like, what? Fine. To find out that that's just a whole culture, I'm not shocked. But the fact that he was placed here, I thought that they were just going to mention the man and we were going to say that there was this guy that we got to come all the way down here to the freaking door, but for this great fantasy to make this ruse really happen. No, he had a seat. I said, why would y'all give him a seat? Netflix, doc people, why does he get to have a seat? We don't need to have a visual or a seat for him to talk about all of his proclivities as far as great fantasies and why he would come all the way down to Timbuktu just to meet this woman. Child, there's that man coming all the way here and yeah, just go on in, open the doors, come in the house. Like what? That could have went so far. And so left from, just think about all, especially with I'm a white woman and I feel very attacked right now. People could have came from the hills to try to save that woman. Anything could happen. While we were down here, pussyfooting around with your made up case, somebody actually needed help. And officer, like, you need to get some fed time. I don't care. Every single time somebody came out under false pretenses and you're sitting here lying, all of the days that the mental space, the head space, the suffering of Michelle, you need to get put away. You need to be sending bankroll to Thug. I need you to be locked up. All of that little delay, that 5 years, what that heifer gonna learn in 5 years? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. He's not going to learn too much. You already got his half-ass best friend probably putting money on his book right now. He's going to live a comfortable, maybe not even at full 10, and he's going to be back out smiling in somebody's face, gathering more victims. These hoes needed time. This was not enough time because y'all give other people time for way less. You muted, Ashley.
People like this are diabolical, and you don't change because this is in you. This ain't on you, it's in you. He's been this way. Like, he's been diabolical and a master manipulator, and he has a penchant for finding broken, damaged, lunatic type of women. I said, I was like, what's going on? Is something in the water? Like, why are they all flocking to him? But yeah, he's a danger in my book, and it just goes to show what they prioritize. Because this was horrendous. This was
the craziest thing. In the years that he was outside and Angela was doing her little bid, because he just recently went away.
Multiple years.
He wasn't still a U.S. Marshal, was he?
I don't know. I think they put him on like paid administrative leave for a portion. Because mind you, she went like, I think 2017, 2018. He didn't go till 2023. That's 5 years. He was out just roaming free. Well, I'm sure the trial started probably maybe 2022, but 4 to 5 years he was out, like before he got sentenced. So he had opportunity to wreak all kind of havoc. I will say, I did find out that, Michelle did get a considerable settlement from the city. I think they ended up paying her almost $1 million, which she deserved. They said, it wasn't really our fault. We just followed the evidence that we had. But y'all ended up paying that lady because y'all were wrong as hell. Y'all knew she was incapacitated and really needed someone else there during her interrogation, in my opinion. And like you said, at least go send her to be evaluated to see if she is capable of even being interrogated to get to the bottom of those things. They didn't really talk about influence or any of that, but yeah, y'all, that's where it landed. Quee, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. We appreciate it. But yeah,
he needs some more time.
the doc said he was removed, so fired from the force. Yeah, but when? Because I thought they put him on leave at first. I think I might have saw that in the Dateline one.
I'm tired of these habitual line steppers going on leave, especially paid leave. You get to be comfortable in what you did for however long until things are sorted out, and you get to be paid at the same time in this raggedy condo, which is half the reason why you concocted all this hot mess in the first place. Bankroll to Thug. He needs to go down.
Yeah.
he needs to go down.
That may have been on the Dateline one that I saw that, because I want to say he got put on leave first and then he was fired once they like convicted him or once he got on trial or whatever. But yeah. But yeah,
it's what we always fear. Like the worst of the worst are some of the people who have badges in authority, and the way that they kept skipping over her, because I'm sure a lot of people were watching it or just aware of the situation, like, well, Michelle, why didn't you come forward? Why didn't you go call the police? And she was like, well, no, he has a lot of influence. He knows people. I felt like, I would be prosecuted if I went to the police, or they would be more in his favor. And clearly they were, because it didn't take much for y'all to throw her behind bars. No.
Mm-mm. And even if he didn't, I think him carrying the title he did, you're going to believe what he says. Like, oh, I believe him because he's, this, and he's probably flashing that badge. Her best friend said he was pompous and an a-hole from the first moment that she met him, really puffed up about his position and who he was and the friends he had and all of that stuff. But y'all, in a nutshell, that was A Toxic Love Story on Netflix. Tyra, any final thoughts on the documentary? Anything you want to let the people know you have going on?
They shouldn't have called it A Toxic Love Story. I'll say that. I don't know what was love story about it.
Love.
This week we will definitely be getting into Diara from Detroit. The latest episodes of the second season have just dropped, so go and check that out to be prepared for the live. And y'all know, Raising Kanan is out, so I will be talking about that. So support me on that too. Thank you.
Please do. Please do. Be on the lookout. I'm actually going to do an upload on Furious. If you didn't watch Furious on Hulu, go watch that. That's a fun time. And we're debating doing a live on it. So let us know if you watch. Let us know what you think. I think it's great. I really was set for Furious. So I'm excited about that. I know Fightland premieres on Friday, I think on Stars. That's the brand new series that's kind of anticipated. So keep an eye out. Stuff is coming. But yeah, thank y'all so much for being here tonight. We appreciate you coming through and supporting the live and for all the super chats and the gifts and the jewels and all the things.